I think my voice is audible to everyone.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, very good evening. Just PPT also. Just I will. Okay. PPT is also visible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. I will continue. So, in the today's session, after completion of comparative public administration, in previous class, yesterday class, we have discussed about the comparative public administration. The comparative public administration mainly cross-culture and cross-national subject. So the COG, Comparative Administrative Group, have played the major role for the comparative public administration. The comparative public administration mainly have the three concepts according to Riggs, who is known as the father of comparative public administration. So one of these things is, it is a empirical and it is a ecological, that comparative public administration I'm talking about. But the comparative public administration have been declared after the Ford Foundation stopped the finance assistance. After that, another concept had been emerged in the study of public administration, in the field of public administration, that is the development or development administration. So that's development administration, dear friends. In the comparative public administration, the main theme of the comparative public administration compare the administration or political affairs of other nations. So that is the main theme of comparative public administration. But whereas the development administration is focusing on the developmental process. In general words, we can refer this. It is a higher growth into the higher and mature condition can be called as a development, as we know all. So let me go to the subject introduction. So development administration is one of the important change in the public administration. In the era of administration, this is one of the milestone in the development administration. So that each nation, each country try to be on the path of development, irrespective of the background of the particular nation, whether it is a developed country or underdeveloped country or a developing country, it's not matter for that. Every nation will try to, according to their capacity, will try to modify or try to growth into higher, fuller or mature condition. So that is the development concept. So it's very clear about the development administration. It is an innovative oriented, and the development administration or a development concept is a achievement oriented. So we can say that one development is a dynamic concept. So in this topic, we are going to learn the few areas, the development meaning and the definitions and goals of development administration versus administrative development, and a different context of development administration and various instruments of development administration. So in that part, we are going to learn the four areas, the four instruments for development administration, which are called administrative system, political system, I mean to say that political organization, and different organization, especially voluntary organizations, and people organizations. We are know that about the people are very an important role in any administration. So without people participation, there is no possibility of the administration. So in the developmental process, people have to play the major role. This is one of the instrument of this one, and different models of development administration. So we will discuss what is development actually. So we discuss in the introduction time. So development is a mature in terms of performance, in terms of output, in terms of justice and equality. That is the development. So, dear friends, development have the two sense. Narrow sense, we can say that one, it will focus on output. I mean to say that result. That result should be positive result, means growth. So this is can be called as in the narrow sense. The qualitative factor of this development is cultural change, institutional strengthen, political consciousness. Development has to be holistic, having bearing on polity and in the society. So it doesn't mean that. Development in narrow sense, we are talking development, whatever the development we are talking, it is narrow sense. So we want to see the growth. I want to see the growth in my salary. People want to see the growth in their position. So they're thinking that that is a development. Here, what we are thinking that development is a narrow sense. So we are like materialists. We are thinking about the production development or output, increasing output development. We are talking about that. Qualitative factor of development thing is that qualitative factor, that is a cultural change, is a development. Strengthening the institutions is a development. Dear friends, since independence time till today, the number of institutions in the government of India are developing the different rules and regulations, these things. So they will try to strengthen the institution. They will try to strengthen the government. So this is one. And political consciousness. People are very vigilant. The political system become a vital role, are playing the major role, changing and transforming the people's life. Here, transforming, changing is different. Transforming is different. Transformation is a real development. Here, the political consciousness is also one of the elements in the development. So development is nothing but in the general sense what we refer here. Development growth into higher, fuller, or mature condition can be called as a development. So this development can be say that there is a desirable change in the achievement of multiplicity of the goals. So different goals I have. So that goals have fulfilled, then I feel that yes, I have developed. So that is a materialistic type of development. So we can talk about this. Then we will go to the different definitions of the development. So Montgomery defines that development is nothing but it is a state of mind. Yes, it is a state of mind, and it is a tendency. It is a direction rather than a fixed goal, and it is a rate of change in a particular direction. So listen that. Few definitions given by the different administrative thinkers. According to Montgomery, development means it is a state of mind. See, people say that, yes, sir, you are working as a lecturer. Yeah, it's a development. But in my opinion, I feel it's not development. I want to go for the different position. So development is a state of mind. So some A person to B person, the state of mind is different. So he feels that is not development. And development is a tendency. It is a direction. And it is a particular direction and a change in the particular direction. That is called development. And F.W. Ricks, he defines that development is a process of increasing autonomy. So he feels that increasing the autonomy, freedom of the particular organization, institution, individual, organization can be called as a development. So of social system by raising the level of diffraction. So the direction or degree of direction it is called. According to Ricks, he feels that development is a process. It is a continuous process of increasing autonomy, which is going to increase the autonomy. That is called development. So we learn about the introduction of development. What is development? Development is measured in terms of performance, output, justice equal to development. Whatever the development concept today we are talking, that is in our sense. So it will see that only the what you call output and production only. In the qualitative factor in the development, that is the cultural change, institutional, strengthening the institutional, social consciousness, and the political consciousness will come under this one. So in general terms refers that development means growth into higher, fuller, or mature condition can be called as a development. Development refers that it's a try to achieve the multiple goals, desirable goals, desired goals, that is development. So definitions, two people give the definitions about the development, Montgomery and Ricks. Then let me go to the another concept of this one, development administration. Just I said the development. Then what is the development administration? Development administration, which refers that formulation and implementation of different policies, plans, programs, projects for the socio-economic conditions. See, dear friends, the Indian social condition, economic condition have been changed with the political motto. So from the independence time to till now, the social condition of different sections in the society have been developed. Are little changes, we can see that. We can see the little transformation in the people's life. I can give one example here. Literacy percent at the time of independence is different, but the literacy percent at present is different. So India in the world level, in the world map, in the different name at the time of 1947. But you know that in the 2021, 22, so this is the development, I need to say that. So in the development administration means administration, we need to talk plans and policies. So the development term in 1950 first time referenced in the public administration. So the word the development administration used in 1950. So please remember, we are talking about development administration. Go to the another concept. So that is the development administration first. The word development administration word first coined by Urvil L. Goswami. We can say that U.L. Goswami is an Indian scholar. In his book, in his famous book, The Structure of Development Administration in India, he has emphasized about the development administration concepts in 1955. Administration by the different political and administrative thinkers from the various countries. But here, all of you getting my voice? Is there any disturbance?
It is clear, sir.
Voice is clear, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Clear, sir.
Okay. Thank you. The term development administration first used by Indian scholar, his name is U.L. Goswami. Please remember this name. In any competitive examination, if you are writing postgraduate examination, entrance examination for the any central university, other universities, they will ask this type of questions. Please remember. So the development administration word first coined by Indian scholar, his name is U.L. Goswami. In 1955, in his book, The Structure of Development Administration in India. In his book, he said the word, or used the first time that word. And George Gant, he can be called as a father of development administration because the concepts and goals and methods which we have in the development administration has developed by the George Gant. So generally, development administration, comparative public administration, father of comparative public administration, F.W. Ricks. Father of public administration is Woodrow Wilson. Father of development administration, George Gant. Please remember, George Gant can be called as a father of development administration. In 1979, he has published one book, that is Development Administration, Concepts, Goals, Methods. So he wrote that book. In that book, he has explained about that. So this is a father of development administration. So in the development administration, like comparative public administration, many authors are contributed for the development of development administration. So I will go to the again F.W. Ricks comparative public administration, George Montgomery, Farrell Hedy, and other people, Ladu Mandu. These all people comes under the comparative public administration. I think you have remember these names, the pioneers in the comparative public administration. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Yes. For your attention, I'm asking question, not to test you people, okay? Yeah. Then in the development administration, In the development administration also, we need to remember few administrative thinkers' names. In the development administration, along with the U.L. Goswami, George Gant, we have other concept, the development administration, popularized by the Edward Widener, F.W. Ricks, John Montgomery, Farrell Hedy, Milton J. Eastman, Alfred Diamond, and others have popularized the concept of development administration. See here, a few people names are same here like the comparative public administration. F.W. Ricks also in the CPA, and Farrell Hedy is also in CPA. Albert Diamond is also in CPA. So we need to add whose name? Edward Widener name, John Montgomery name. and Eastman. His name is Milton J. Eastman. Okay, so this one. About the development administration, Prabhat Kumar Datta, he says that development administration is claimed to have been coined by the Indian scholar U.L. Goswami. Prabhat Datta. I think his work is IIPA, Indian Institute of Public Administration. Once I have seen him in Hyderabad. Next one, that is development administration, emerged as a subfield of public administration in 1950s and 1960s. So development administration is an inclusive approach towards development. So the development administration try to focus on administrative problems of developing and developed nations. So what type of problems are faced by the different countries? It is trying to focus on that. Next, to go to the definitions of development administration. Here, the development administration definitions are given by many administrative thinkers. George Gant, Edward Weidner, and others have given the different definitions. Let me discuss about the George Gant definition about the development administration. So according to him, George Gant says that aspect of public administration in which a focus of attention is on organizing and administering public agencies in such a way as to stimulate and facilitate defined programs of social and economic progress. In simple words, George Gant defines that the attention as focused by the organizations and administrative agencies to develop the programs for the social and economic progress. In simple words, this is a definition of development administration. Edward Weidner, he defines that development administration is nothing but it is a process of guiding the organization towards the achievement of progress, that progress in socio-economic and political objectives. In general words, we can say that Edward Weidner says development administration is a process which will try to guide to achieve the socio-economic political objectives. I think this is very clear to everyone. So Edward Weidner says that he stated that development administration means an action-oriented and goal-oriented administrative system. So that is called development administration. In examination point of view, they will ask the question in what you call PG entrance. So who said that? Development administration is an action-oriented and goal-oriented. So here, dear friends, development administration always action-oriented, like you people, and it's a goal-oriented. So there is action, there is a goal-oriented, there is a work, and that work will be help for the success of organization. So that is the development. So people are doing work in the government sector. If there is no progress, we can't say it is a progressive administration or a development administration. So whereas CPA, comparative public administration, is a cross-culture and cross-national. Then development administration is a action-oriented, goal-oriented. I think this is very clear to everyone. Then go to the other definition, Montgomery. He defines that development administration carrying the planned change in economy or capital infrastructure and to lesser extent in social services, especially health and education. See this definition. He defined the different way. He says that development administration is nothing but development of carrying plans to change the economy. The economy of that country has to change. And the capital infrastructure has to change. The infrastructure is nothing but road, transport, medical, education facilities has to be provided by the state. As we know all, the responsibility of the state, of any state in the modern societies, how to protect the borders of the country and will try to look after the welfare of the people. So this is a main motto of the governments. But as you know all, in the central level, in India level, especially in our Bangar Telangana, Golden Telangana level, what is going on here, we all know that. I don't want to comment about these two things because you are particularly observing the administration activities of the country. On the name of the development administration, on the name of patriotism, what is going on? If it is across the particular limit of these administration policies, it may be negative impact on entire Indian society. So this is a Montgomery definition. So we want to see the development in the education. and we want to see the development and infrastructure development. This development, we can observe that lesser extent in the social services, especially health and education. So health facilities and education facilities have to change here. Next one, FW Riggs defines it. Development administration is a combined process of both administration of development. Try to listen carefully. Administration of development means, I have mentioned the bracket, you can see that. Implementation of development policies and plans, that is called administration of development, and development of administration. See here, administration of development means implement the development policies and plans. But whereas development administration means try to develop the administration. So when we are trying to develop the administration means what we will do? We will try to improvement the administration capabilities. So administrative capabilities we will try to develop. So this is called development of administration. No need to get the confusion is here. Administration development. Administration development means policies and plans have to develop. Then development of administration means improve the administration capabilities. So that is called development of administration. So according to FW Riggs, it is also ecological in nature as the outcome of any developmental activities is a conditioned by its environmental factors like social, cultural, economic, and political. So he says that developmental activity compulsory may impact on ecology. So in yesterday we have discussed what is ecology. Ecology is nothing but the persons living in the particular surroundings. That surrounding places and environment is called ecology. So a person is living in the particular ecology or particular environment. So it may be impact on the person's life. So in the similar way, the administration development process or administration of development or development of administration is depends on ecology, is said by the FW Riggs. Please remember, these are all four definitions we need to write in the development administration. Next, I will go to the next concept of development administration. Of administration of development programs. And it is a process of development administration. It is a study of administration in developing countries, and a development administration as a study of social change. So these trends we can understand by outlining these four definitions, whatever the definitions we have gone through it. Here, development administration means it is a development of administrative programs and development of administration. First one is administration programs. Second one is development of administration. Third one is study of administration of developing countries. So third world countries, what are developing countries? We are going to study about that. So that is a development administration. So development administration focus these elements. And a development administration is going to study of social change. So then the first concept as a development administration as a process of administration of development programs. See here, for the purpose of administrative purpose, there are two concepts will be there. Development administration and regulatory administration. The concept development administration refers that production or bring the social change in the society is called development administration. So we can see that one, for example, agriculture, industries, irrigation, panchayat raj, cooperative societies, all these help for the development of the administration. So we have the agriculture, people will develop, and industries, the capital is going to gather, or irrigation with the water facility, power is going to generate. Panchayat system, people participation, so that strengthen the democracy. So these all come under the development administration. Another one, regulatory administration. Regulatory means only supervising, collecting taxes will come under regulating. The state or the government which will try to regulate the affairs of the individuals. Regulate means correcting. They may have some principles, they may have some rules and regulations. That rules and regulations have to obey by that particular state citizen. Sometimes aliens also, foreigners also need to follow that one. So here, these are the regulatory administration. That is a revenue collection, law and order will come under the regulatory administration. This is called correcting the behavior of individuals or the citizens or the institutions, etc. I think this concept is very clear. Let me go to the another concept. That is the development administration is a process of development of administration. So development of administration means we will try to strengthen the bureaucracy. For that purpose, what we will do, we will try to change some rules and goals. Here I said roles and goals. The different roles which are played by the government, different goals which are decided by the government should be changed. No need to go with the status quo. Status quo means as it is situation, previously the society which have the same position, it should not be continued. So it has to change. The change should be progressive. That change should be change the people's life in a positive manner. So that is development. Next to go to that. This development administration is a structure and methods and calls for the modernization of bureaucracy. So this is called development of administration. The third concept in the development administration, study of administration in developing countries. In simple terms, I can say that the which countries are already developed, we are going to adopt those state concepts. And we will see here administration of developing countries here. Developing countries means which countries are developing, underdeveloping. So here, developing countries have faced the many problems like poverty and all these things. So they want to go with the innovative approach. They want to go with the new methods. So these new methods have been started after the Second World War because the countries have faced the problems like employment and education, health, and these things. So that's why they want to develop something here. And they have launched their own development scheme by taking the Western development models as a frame of reference. So dear friends, we have adopted the Indian Constitution from the different countries. The different rules, for example, fundamental rights, we have taken from USA. From the Russia, we have taken some other principles. Direct principle of state policy, we have received from other countries. We have adopted from other countries. Because of this country is a third world country. It is under the colonial rule. It is emerged as a newly independent state. So that newly independent state has to adopt the few concepts here. Let me go to the other concept. Development administration as a study of social change. Dear friends, the development administration has emphasized about the socio-economic movement of the society. So in the part of this one, we are going to know about the different reforms, different movements. Example, non-violence movement, which has led by the Mahatma Gandhi, Mao, and Lenin, and other people movements for the social change. So in the part of this one, for education, for the society, like Savitribai Phule and other people, how they are trying to make the society, how they will try to bring the reforms in the social system of the particular country. So this will be in the part of development administration. Means being a public administration student, he will also know about the Gandhiji principles, Mao principles, Lenin principles, Karl Marx principles. So in that, all the concepts and all the concepts theories which has been proposed by the different intellectuals in the different scenario and from the different countries will try to uplift the societies. Next, go to the other one, goals of development administration. The first goal of development administration is concerned with the protecting the nation from external danger. So development administration will try to protect the people from danger of other countries. So external change, external aggression means from other countries, what do you call war. So that is comes under here. And another one is socio-economic progress and social welfare. So socio-economic progress in the society has to change. And at the same time, that state, that country, GDP also need to change. So that comes under the socio-economic progress and social welfare. Social welfare is also one of the important factor for this. Next, we can talk about Milton J. Eastman. He defines that goals of the development administration. He defines that achieving security against external aggression. Here, I think this word is new to you people. External aggression means, for example, China is fight against India or try to occupy that Indian territory, this is called external aggression. Or Pakistan or other country try to occupy that other country geography or polity and anything, that is called external aggression. And ensuring the internal border, it will try to protect the internal border, and establishing and maintaining the consciousness on legitimacy of the regime. So they will try to follow the law of the particular country. So here, this is the goals of a development administration. We will go to the other things which are come under here. Let me discuss. Here, there are few concepts here in the development administration. So it is integrating a diverse ethnic, religious, communal, and regional elements into a national political community. So in India, we have the different countries' principles. We are practicing the Western type of model, and we'll try to, following the other countries' laws. So foreign policy, sometimes we are practicing it. So of course, it is by the, there is some limitation with the government, that is different here. So for the development purpose, we are following it. Another one, organizing and distributing formal power and functions among the organs of central, and displacement of vested traditional social economic interests, and development of modernizing skills and institutions. We are modernizing the institutions, we are modernizing the skills, fostering of psychological and material security. So we are forcing, and mobilization of savings and current financial resources. So this is also development, and effective management of facilities and services. This is also part of the development administration. Achieving a secure position in the international community. So India has got that. So this is a development administration concepts. So these are the goals of the development administration. And we will go to the other things which are come under here. Development administration versus administration development. See, it is very clear as we discussed. Development administration, administration development. Look at that concept. Development administration, which deals with the projects, programs, policies, and ideas. Whereas administrative development means empowering the administrative structure or administrative organization. So this is, we are talking about, due to that, we are rationalizing the government system. We are changing the, government activities. So we can call reforming is a part of administrative development. Okay. Next, I will go to the concept of development administration. So there is a two concepts will be there. Of course, number of concepts will come under. The concept of development administration, in what way we can say that one development? So in political context, development is different. In economic context, development is different. We will discuss historical context, political concept, economic context, and another thing which are come under here, socio-cultural context, different contexts we have. We will discuss the first. What is a development concept in the historical context? Historical context, the development of development administration means construction of Krishna and Godavari dams in Andhra Pradesh. This is one of the example for a historical context. So in the historical context, with the dams, the Krishna Godavari river, agriculture developed here. So with that, people who are facing the poverty problem, especially food grains problem, they come out from that. So it will try to overall strengthen the people and empower them, and they will try to get the food grains. So this is in the historical context. So historical context close many options for the people. The scope for retreat from many socio-economic conditions. So next one is political context. When we're talking about the political context, many major principles have influenced on the development process. In this regard, we can talk about the administration improvement about this one. So in the political context, we can call American scholars administrative improvement. This is one of the example. So what they did, creation of strong administrative system in a society with a weak political system is dangerous to the democratic process. So being a public administrators, in future, you may become the bureaucrats. Please remember this concept. Here in the political context, creation of strong administrative system in any society with a weak political system, dangerous to the very democratic society. Every democratic society, it's a danger. So create the strong administrative system in a society with a weak political system. Political system should not be weak. Political system should be strong. So that is the development context. Another context in this one. So in this one, political system that has formulated the policies and provide the direction for the development. So due to that reason, political system should be strong here. And the administrative system has to translate those policies into realities. So policies, we have a number of policies. On the basis of Gandhi ideology, in Indian Constitution, Article 40 defines that the roots of grassroots level development is based on Panchayat Raj system. But the same Panchayat Raj system, the same local government system is facing the number of problems. In local level, Gram Panchayats are facing many problems. Still, they won't have the connectivity, road connectivity. Still, the people in the country, number of villages, hundreds of villages, they won't have electricity. Thousands of villages, till today, they are so far from the education system. So still they are living in the different areas. So this has to be closed. This has to be end. So the administrative system translate those policies into realities. So that administrative system means the bureaucrats have to modify it. And therefore, the political representative, our perspective and priorities and cultural values have a deep impact on development administration. So the political perspective, the political priority will change the administration. So this is a political context of administration development. Go to the other concept of this one, economic context of development. In academic point of development is nothing, but we want to see the production development we are going to talk about. So generally we are talking about material conditions. So the income of the particular country. So we can talk about the economic development. Here, the production and its distribution can be called as an economic context. The intervention of a state in economic activities become an integral part of developmental activities, developmental strategies. So we all aware about the 2016 year. I never forget that, because if people are getting any goods, then people have to pay the GST tax. So this is a intervention of the state for the economic activities. So people are paying that when they are using the services and goods and these things, they have to pay the tax for the particular goods. So this is a strategy in the third world countries and establish the public enterprises. So we need to establish the public enterprises, but should not be closed down the public enterprises. Public undertaking organizations, government organization. This is very endangered to the country. This is a dangerous to the country. This will be warned to the country or the particular nation. The people are going to face a problem. If you are going to privatize the government sectors, sold out the government organizations to the private individuals, relatives and friends and the state people, it's a danger to the people's life. I think you know that. In what context I'm saying that example? The government companies we have, the government, central government sold out to the private people. If they sold out to the private people, what the consequences? People face the problems. Airport privatized. Communication, telecommunication privatized. Better to privatize politics also. Go to the next concept. Establishment of public enterprises. Indirect control that a state exercise overall economy. So this is a economic context. So my intention is that every state government have to look after the welfare of people. So on the name of welfare of people, you should not sold out the public property. So that property is a future property, future generations property. So in the government sector, there is a lot of scope for the employment. There is a lot of scope to get the minimum commodities. A common man will get it. I shame sometimes, dear friends. I'm not emotional here. People will get in 1 rupee kg rice, but the same people have to pay the 200 rupees for the dal and the oil something. What is this strategy? Next, this is not economic development. Then socio-cultural context. In the socio-cultural context, every society has a complex value system. These values, which are conducive for the rapid development, this socio-economic culture is important for the development. Another set of values which are anti-development. So this is a belief that faith in karma. Karma means what you did, so it's based on karma. So they feel that like that. So what we need actually, we need for the socio-cultural context, scientific temper we want. We need to believe the science. We need to rely on the science and technology. So we must have the consciousness and political consciousness. Political consciousness in our Telangana state, people have more and more compared with other people. Do you know that for 5 years, we will sell out our vote for just 8,000, 10,000, not all. I'm talking about few. In 2024 elections, there is a great demand for Indian voters. Really, it's a damaged democratic system. Next, political consciousness is required for the socio-economic culture. So better society is possible through the social order, zeal for the better life. So this is the socio-economic culture. And instrument of development administration, next concept. There are 4 instruments for the development administration. First one is that administrative system. Second one, political organization. Third one, voluntary organizations, people organizations. So dear friends, they will ask the question about what are the instruments for the development administration? For the development administration, there is a complex task to define clearly about the development concepts. But here, according to Milton J. Eastman, identify 4 instruments. What are these 4 instruments? One is administrative system. Second one, political organization. Third one, voluntary association. Fourth one, people organization or people participation. These are common. We will discuss these 4 concepts. Administrative system. That administrative system which is involved in the civil and military activities is considered as an indispensable instrument to carry out the policies and programs intended for development. So dear friends, whatever the policies which are framed by great political leaders, central level in the parliament, state level, the respective legislative body assemblies, they will frame the different policies and programs for the development or social development or changes for the people's life. So these has to be carried out. So these people are ambassadors. They will try to implement these ones. So that's why if you become a civil servant, you must be strong to implement these policies which are framed by these one. Policies are good. Constitution is good. In India, general phenomenon is here. They will try to criticize the constitution. No. The way of implementation is wrong. I will give one example, dear friends. A common man is going to pay the tax, but rich person, you know that how he will try to escape from the paying the taxes. So that should be there. Here we need to follow that. Constitution is good, but way of implementation is wrong. So that way of implementation should not be biased. So what do you call, I can say in the simple example that in a bureaucratic system, they will give the more preference to the elite political leaders, but they never give the preference to the common man. If agriculture farmer go to the bank, will the bank manager will accept and he will receive in such a positive way? Yeah, please sit, sir, what do you want? The agriculture farmers is providing the food grains to all the people in the country, but they are committing suicides entire the national level. The country agriculture land become the real estate land. It has sold out to some Daddani, something XYZ people. India is good to face the problem. I'm questioning the bureaucracy here. Why they are doing that kind of policies here? So this is an administrative system. When we're talking about the civil and the military system has to practice the policies and carry out the policies for the larger interest. Next one. Transitional societies in India. There is a transition society, transformation from the society. So people are transforming. The public bureaucrats, crucial in the decision making. So these bureaucrats are very important for the bureaucrats. So that's why always I used to say my students and friends, try to become a civil servant. So with his single signature, thousands of people's life is going to change. I can't say that. I'm not criticizing the political leaders. Good political leaders we have, only few. We need to check by the 100 times filtering. Next one, political organization. So political organization means that is a political party So it's a mass base and ideological direction. So political parties have the ideological base. In India, in the ideological base, 1950s, 1947, before independence, some parties fight for the freedom. Their fight from the release from the clutches of British colonials. But we can't see that present those parties in India. So that is a political parties have a mass base and ideological direction. Next, voluntary associations also play the major role. It is one of the instrument for that one. Number of NGOs, dear friends, playing the major role for the development of this thing. Akshaya Patra and other NGOs will try to provide education and shelter to the old age people, shelter to the orphan people. So this is a great thing which are done by the NGOs, organizations, voluntary groups, associations for the betterment of the society. So this one. Next one, people's organization. So this can be called as a, what do you call, people participation in this one. So people organization launch the different movements this year. People have participated in the different movements. You know, all the environment and protection purpose. We have the Chipko movement. And what do you call, oppression against the upper caste and allied sections, some other sections, they will try to create the problem to that one. So we have seen the social reforms. And the women empowerment purpose, Raja Ram Mohan Rai, Kandukuru Veerashalingam Pantalu, they have run the different organization they run the different movements for the development of this one. Jyotirao Phule is help for the women education, include the Brahmins community, include the Brahmins women. So this is one of the few moments for the protection of society's interest and community's interest, dear friends. Next, go to the another concept is development models. We can call models of development. So there are a few models of development. So ideal model development is here. Short-run payoff model is here. And different models we have. Let me discuss this all at a glance. Ideal model. This model generally based on planned direction growth. Ideal model is a planned direction growth with a system change. This model necessitated the creation of planning machinery to formulate and implement the plans. So this ideal model is a planned direction growth. And this planned model create the planning machinery to formulate and to implement those policies or plans. So that is a ideal model type of development administration. Next one, short-run payoff model. So this model, short-run payoff model, it supports for the planned direction growth without disturbing the existing system. So this is a short-run payoff model. So it is support for the planned direction growth. There is a planned direction is here. In the planned direction, it will never try to disturb the existing laws or existing processes. In simple, we can say that one, it will try to development planning is there, but in the development planning, they will never try to change or replace the existing laws or existing system. So that is short-run payoff model. Another one is long-run payoff model. So this model provides for a planned system, no directional growth. So there is no directional growth. May not result in immediate growth. So in long run, it may not give the immediate growth or immediate development. So this is called long run payoff model of this growth. So we can say that one, this long run payoff, payoff type of this model will help for the growth economy, productivity, and efficiency also. Another one, failure model. Failure model means that despite development plans, there is no considerable development in a society. So this is a failure model. Failure model means there is no development, there is no change. So no planning does not contribute or result in any change in the system. There is number of plans is here, but it won't be changed. Crores of rupees will be spent on particular work. No result. From the 1952 onwards, 50s onwards, the great governments, successor governments have planned for the housing for the poor. Housing for the poor is a main manifesto of the people. Education, government schools construction, main manifesto of this one. But still people have, they won't have the houses. So that is the thing is here. Next one, due to the various reasons such as population explosion, natural disasters, and traditional type of technology, traditions, and different problems we have. So we can say that one here, another one, environmental stimulate model is also we have. So on the basis of environment system, so we have this one. And the pragmatism model is also made. Pragmatism model of this thing. Let me explain. Pragmatism model, there is unplanned directional growth. So unplanned direction, there is no plan, but directional growth with no system change. So this is called pragmatism model. This is called pragmatism model. Another one is a crisis model type of organization. So crisis model, it means unplanned system change with no directional growth. This situation is generally the effect of adjustment made to meet the emergencies like epidemics or floods or war or anything like that. So this is a crisis model. So crisis model is nothing but when we have the emergency problem, this is another model. Static model. Static model means no plan, no change. There are few societies in the system which there is no change at all. No plans, no change. So this model reflect that this is a static model. Last and final, we can discuss the changing dynamics of development administration. What are the changing dynamics of development administration? So here, there is a stimulate changes in the development administration for the improvements, remarkable changes in the national level. There are a number of changes have taken place. And in the changing dynamics of public administration, there is a change in the question, the relevance of development administration and public administration. So they were raised in the 1970s. There was realized that economic growth was increased, but it failed to address poverty, unemployment, socio-economic inequalities across the nations, 1970s, they have realized that economic growth is increased, but it has failed to address, to eliminate, or to address the problems of poverty. So still the people are begging, still people under the poverty, still the unemployment percentage daily increasing, employment percentage daily decreasing. So in India, youth, they are facing the unemployment problem. So country is developed. See, dear friends, in the international level, country become the good name, but in their country, people are begging. In the same country, people fight for the primary education. 1950, we have the constitution. But after 20, 40 years, we have the right to education for the child. The people have the different facilities. In the parliament canteen, they will get the good, tasty, breakfast or lunch with the amount of not more than 50 rupees. But common man is not able to get it. Thus, we can say this is a development. The political leaders' positions, income has developed. Bureaucrats, not all. Conditions supply, not all. They earn a lot of money by abusing their misusing their power. Is this a change? The physical infrastructure is not changed, dear friends. Socio-economic, cultural changes in every person's life's transformation is called change. I have listened one song in the Telugu. They said that agriculture farmer is crying. Why he is crying? Sir, Kumar sir, you are talking about agriculture farmers. Because I am also from agriculture family. I think you may number of people from this class also agriculture families. Because they are providing food grains in this world. But they are committing suicides. Have you seen any great business people from the different parts of the country have committed suicide? Any cine industry people have committed suicide? Of course, commit suicide. Compare with agriculture farmers. Have you seen them? Any political leader commit suicide himself? What is the ratio of them? So this is my question. So poor people, still they are facing the problem. So that's why these are the problems till 1970s. 1970s and 80s, there was a paradigm shift from the growth-centric people-centered approach, people-centered approach, it has started. The 1990s, the concept of sustainable development is emerged. Sustainable development, continued development. So this is the changing dynamic of public administration. The development models and administrative systems have not succeeded to improve the sustainability of economy, quality of general masses. So general people life has not changed. He's telling that. So development turned out to be anti-human and eco-destructive. So this has changed. Development means sold out the land for the industrial purpose. Such development means constructing dams. How many people have submerged in the water? I mean, how many forest people, especially tribal people, lost their agricultural land, lost their culture, lost their tradition, lost their love and affection in that particular living conditions. This is not development. So this is a changing dynamics in the development administration. I think is very clear to everyone. Do you have any doubts and clarifications? I welcome you all. I think all of you listening.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Clear, sir. Yes, sir. Listen. Clear, sir.
Yeah. So I will share the PPT. Okay. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you,
welcome.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome.